Call this Village of Greenhills Council meeting for March 28, 2023 to order. Clerk, call the roll.
Mr. Halter?
Here.
Mr. Lee?
Here.
Ms. Houghton?
Here.
Ms. Osmanoglu?
Here.
Ms. Walker?
Here.
Ms. Hermans?
Here.
Mayor Moore?
Here. Okay, we have a prayer by Maria.
Lord, we ask you to send your spirit of servanthood upon all of us who gathered this evening to do your work for the benefit of our village. We ask you to bless our elected and appointed officials so they may deliberate with wisdom and act with courage. Bless the members of our community who come here to speak before council so they state their cause with honesty and humility. Lord, we ask you especially to protect our men and women in uniform so they will come home whole in body and mind. We ask you to bless us all and that everything we do here tonight will move you to welcome us one day into our kingdom as good and faithful servants. We ask this in the name of our brother Jesus. Amen.
Amen. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We have the minutes of the previous council meeting of February 28, 23, and the council meeting of March work session, council meeting of March 14, 2023. If there are no corrections, minutes will stand as approved. Okay, and public presentations. So we have swearing in of the new patrol officer, Daniel Warman.
I'd like to introduce all of you to Daniel Warman. He has law enforcement in his family. His uncle just recently retired as the Glendale police chief, and he comes to us from right down the road. He is currently a park ranger for the Hamilton County Great Parks District, and we're very happy to have him and welcome him here because he already knows our streets.
Yeah.
Do solemnly swear that I will support the Constitution and the laws of the United States, the Constitution and the laws of the state of Ohio, and the charter and ordinances of the Village of Greenhills, and will, to the best of my ability, discharge the duties of the office of police officer, to which I've been appointed, so help me God.
Hi, Debbie Heimer.
Maria Walker, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Welcome aboard.
Congrats. Congratulations. Thank you. Congratulations.
Daniel, here's a copy of your oath of office, and you're welcome to say anything you'd like.
Thank you for the opportunity to work here. Happy to be a part of the team.
Thank you.
Good.
Welcome.
All right.
We'll see you Friday.
All right, and we do have one other presentation that wasn't, we didn't get it on the agenda in time, but the head librarian from Greenhills Library.
Hello, Jenny Weikert from Greenhills again. Just thought I would let you know that we're going to have a lot of fun activities going on in April. It's proving to be a very active and busy month, and I appreciate the opportunity to come and let you all know about it. We are going to be having, actually, at the School for the Creative and Performing Arts Corbett Theater on April 26th at 7 p.m. We're going to be in conversation with Tommy Orange, who is a New York Times bestselling author of There, and it's going to be a conversation with him. Tickets are free and are available if you register on chpl.org, and it's a very rare opportunity. It's actually brought to us in partnership with the National Endowment for the Arts, Big Read Grant, and the Library Foundation. So they're helping to make that author visit possible. So it's going to be a good time. I hope to see people there. Then we also are starting something new at Greenhills. We are offering an adult story time at 11:30 a.m. after our preschool story time at 10:30 a.m., and that's for adults with special needs and their caregivers, and they would be more than welcome to come and visit us for songs, stories, and fun every week. So we're looking forward to really having that. We are also going to have more fun on Monday, April 10th from 2 to 3 p.m. It is our unicorn party. Sunday is National Unicorn Day, so we're celebrating the day after, and we will have a special unicorn guest at our party, so be sure to bring all of the fans. We also are going to be having that same night at 6:30 p.m. for a slight change of pace. It's called Massacre in the Woodlands, and it's presented by UC Classics, and it's about a battle between the ancient Romans and the Gauls, where the Roman legions were decimated almost to a man, but they still don't know exactly where this happened. They've got a few ideas on it. So it's a cold case of 2,000 years, and a doctoral student will be coming, Alessandro Giovanni Battaglia, will be coming from UC Classics and sharing that with us at 6:30 p.m. on Monday, April 10th. We are also showing off all of our digital resources coming up. So if you have one of those shiny tablets, phones, laptops, and you've wondered, how do I get an ebook, an e-audiobook, or does the library do streaming stuff? The answer is yes. We are going to have a special program on April 15th at noon, or if you bring your device in, we'll sit down with you and help get you started with our Libby app or our Canopy app. We have many other fine ones on our website as well, but we'll be focusing on those two at that particular program. And for anybody who has teenagers, 16 or older at home, we are having a CPR and first aid training certification class. So they will be certified in this. It will be on April 15th, that's a Saturday, at 2 p.m. We have limited space, so I highly recommend anybody who's interested in lifeguarding, babysitting, building some skills, being able to save a life. This is a rare opportunity, and you will get certified, so please do register online at chpl.org or call us, and we'll be happy to help out as well. We also are having Poetry, the Bard and You, a poetry workshop for April, which is National Poetry Month, on the Saturday, April 22nd at 2 p.m. You can sign up online also. And Amy, that's also Earth Day, Amy, our children's librarian, will be at Winton Woods Park celebrating all of theirs from 11 to 3. There'll be a special craft and everything, so if it's a nice day, go out and see her too. And then the last one is we're having a plant swap on April 29th at 11 a.m. Bring your extra seedlings, your house plants. Be prepared to leave something and take something, and just get to meet fellow gardeners, plant parents, anything else that, if you have something that's been languishing at home that maybe you should let somebody else take care of, feel free to see us at that point. And I did want to also point out we do have computer access and 20 pages a day of printing for free, as well as faxing. One last thought was voter registration. We are a place where you can register to vote, and if you want to do the May election, then you need to be registered by April 3rd, and we would be more than happy to help you with that. And if you want to do absentee vote by mail, those requests need to be at the library by the 25th in order for us to process them. So we can get you all the forms and help you with that. Thank you so very much.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I had one question.
Yes.
The tax forms,
Yes.
you guys also have those there as well?
Yes, we have some of the booklets and everything, and a lot of it is going to print on demand from the internet, but we are more than happy to get any forms that you need, and we have copies of the federal booklets, and we have a reference copy of the Ohio booklet because they don't print those, and I printed one out. But we'll make copies of anything you need to make sure that you get what you need for Texas.
Thank you very much.
Thanks. All right, moving on. I have a proclamation to read. I didn't bring my glasses, so hopefully I can, yeah, people know that. I think my arms are long enough to get it out. Okay, proclamation, whereas Greenhills, Ohio was one of the 3 Greenbelt communities, along with Greenbelt, Maryland, and Greendale, Wisconsin. It was conceived by Franklin Roosevelt's Resettlement Administration in 1935. And whereas the designers of Greenhills created an innovative community plan in harmony with a natural landscape that addressed needs for housing, recreation, education, and social connection, and provided support for local agriculture. And whereas Greenhills, Ohio holds a significant place in local, regional, and national history as a planned community that continues to inspire planners, architects, and advocates of planned communities from around the world. And whereas Greenhills, Ohio was built by the hard work of hundreds of laborers, skilled tradesmen, and artists whose work remains and continues to meet the needs of the people of Greenhills. And whereas Greenhills has been a vibrant community since 1938 that has offered a safe, supportive, and beautiful location to raise families and provide endless enrichment for the people who call it home. And whereas Greenhills continues to be a vital part of the greater Cincinnati with its attractive neighborhoods, walking paths, green spaces, recreational venues, unique architecture, and varied housing. And whereas Greenhills, Ohio has earned the designation of a National Historic Landmark that is a source of pride for its leaders and residents. And whereas Greenhills, Ohio welcomed its first families on April 1st, 1938, making April 1, 2023, the 85th anniversary of the opening of Greenhills. Now therefore, I, David Moore, Mayor of the Village of Greenhills, Hamilton County, Ohio, proclaim April 1st, the 85th anniversary of the Village of Greenhills, and urge all residents to take pride in this milestone and build the legacy of earlier generations who have made Greenhills a strong and beloved community. So, happy birthday, Greenhills. Okay.
It doesn't look a day over 60.
And it's making me feel old because the town's not much older than me. All right. Okay, moving on, reports of municipal officials. Yvonne Kovac, manager.
Thank you, Mayor. I'll start with a run through on the legislation that we have on our agenda tonight. Our first ordinance of the year actually repeals our section of the code related to fireworks because the state of Ohio has adopted new codes, I guess you could say, that kind of puts ours out of date. So anyway, will be read twice, first reading tonight, second reading next month. One resolution on your agenda is both represent assessments onto 2 properties. I believe they were both cleanups. And the third item is the one that I told you I'd have to be filling in the information. As of yesterday, we opened the bids for the project. This is the Farragut Enfield Road Improvement Project funded through the Transit Infrastructure Fund. The low bidder was Mount Pleasant Blacktopping, and their bid amount is $296,695.25. So we had 4 bids. They were the only ones, thankfully, that did agree to meet our deadline. And we're trying to have this completed by the time the pool would open. So construction may start as early as mid-April. So pretty excited about that. Other things going on, of which there are many. Today I did submit a small grant available through the Public Health District. I actually did it for funding materials necessary to start a community garden down at the new park site. So we'll hear on that as early as next week. I love fast turnaround, so keep your fingers crossed on that. That would be worthwhile. I started advertising for the historic preservation consultant that we require for our planning commission to advise the members. anytime there are historic issues that come up. That ran in the Enquirer today, so pretty excited about that. And I also provided you all by email the map for our proposed boundary of the local district and the specific listing of parcels. So we'll go through that at the retreat. And let me know if you have any questions on that. Otherwise, it's ready to go. And that's what I have for now.
And Jen and I will take a nice walk.
That's right, yes. You'll be excluded.
I have a couple of questions. Do we already pass the Tricity USA?
For this year, we already received it.
Okay, we already received that,
Yes.
okay. I checked the calendar before I came out here, and it does not appear neither our date for retreat on the calendar, neither Arbor Day on the calendar.
Well, on our on the
On
village
the
website
website
calendar,
calendar.
the retreat should be on there. It's been on there for
I
a
just
while.
checked before I came here. Oh, no, I'm sorry, maybe I just checked March, not April.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, but and Arbor Day is also in April, maybe I just missed that.
Right, yeah, I can't remember if Arbor Day's up there or not. But I know
Okay, what is the
retreat
day that we are going to have the official Arbor Day then?
I believe it's hold on, I better look.
Okay,
I
I
was
couldn't
gonna say
find, I
29.
look, I guess I look in March, but I thought I look in April as well, before I came here,
28.
the 28th.
Mhm.
And then I had a comment from a citizen here in Greenhills, Barbara Ann, thanking you profusely for sending her the information about the applications
Sure.
for the grants. And she received everything, and she's going to proceed with that.
Great.
Okay. And then also, I ran into one of our volunteer fire department members, and she said that if you are interested, or we can fit that on the retreat, that they would have an opening to be able to do the revised CPR, or revise something like that, and then the AED's operation of that after the launch and the retreat, if you so fit, if that's available, if you have time for that.
That's your call.
Yeah. Okay, we'll look into it.
Okay.
Okay.
I did just look up, and neither the retreat or the Arbor Day are on the calendar
I thought so.
on my, at least not from my phone.
It was not on my regular
I will check
computer.
it. You know,
I
there's
checked-
different calendars. Maybe I clicked the wrong one, but
Okay, I checked on the regular one that had, I'll check to see if there was any meeting before our meeting today,
yeah.
because I didn't have it on my regular calendar in my purse, so, and I thought,
Okay.
I clicked,
It's really odd. I'll go look.
I clicked March and April, and I couldn't find it there. Okay.
All right, moving on. Law Director Jeff Forbes.
Thank you, Mayor. Just very briefly, again, as usual, no legal matters that the village is involved in right now. There have been a few bills introduced recently that may have some effect on local governments, municipalities. Two that I wanted to mention, only to wake up the police chief, because he's going to love this. Within the last month, a House bill was introduced and a companion Senate bill that does exactly the same thing. And when they do that, that must mean they're trying to expedite things. That would lower the minimum age requirement for an appointment as a law enforcement officer
Wow.
from 21 down to 18. And as the father of a soon-to-be 18-year-old and a 19-year-old, you don't.
I'd raise it to 25.
But I only mention it because when they introduced it's essentially the same thing in the House and the Senate at the same time, there must have been some conversations about trying to expedite this. So we'll see where it goes. But
We've been watching that,
Yeah.
and local rule can trump that. We can be, of course, more restrictive. But I think the thought was because of the declining number of applicants,
Yep.
it would give us another
Exactly.
pool.
Yep. And if any of these other things come to fruition, I'll be sure to report on those. But that would conclude my report for tonight.
Okay. Clerk of Council, Teresa Lawley.
Nothing tonight, sir.
Okay. Chief of Police, Neil Furterman.
Thanks, Mr. Mayor. We had a very successful coffee with the COP this past March 18th. We had a good number of our residents that joined us, and everybody left with the door prize and some good conversation, and they're full of coffee and donuts and pastries. So we thank all of those who attended. We also partnered with, mentioning the library, we partnered with the library on March 16th, and with our fire department, and Officer Rob Lenhoff represented us down there. We presented a stranger danger program to the kids and bicycle safety, and kids had a good time, and so did we. We also have some upcoming events listed on our website and on our Facebook page. The next one that we will be participating in will be right here in this building on Saturday, May 20th from 10 in the morning until 2 in the afternoon, and we'll be having another open house. It'll be our second. The last one was very well attended, and we're looking forward to that. And we've scheduled Park Talks. Our next one, first one actually of this year, will be on May 11th. As always, to entice our residents to come, we'll have lots of pizza. We have a new, since we're on Waycross right now, we have a new Waycross segment that the manager and I participated in. That's now online on Waycross Community Media. And we had a new, or a sergeant start a new training program called the Supervisors Training and Education Program. It runs once a week for 3 months. It's a very intense training program, and we're very happy that Sergeant Carl Holbrook is participating in that program. During the last month, we made 33 criminal arrests, including 8 for failure to appear, 4 for operating under the influence, 3 for open container, 3 for receiving stolen property, and 2 for domestic violence. We responded to 142 incidents, 18 squad runs, 8 warrants served, 7 fire runs, 6 suspicious vehicles, 6 thefts, 5 juvenile complaints, 5 lockouts, 5 intrusion alarms, and 5 parking complaints. We provided mutual aid to our neighbors in 4 instances. We issued 77 traffic citations, 63 warnings, and investigated 6 traffic crashes. Thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, any comments or questions of the chief? All right. Keep up the good work. All right, I have nothing to report from the mayor. Reports of committees, community development, Jeff Halder.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We do have the upcoming beautification competition, if you want to call it that, and awards, encouraging residents to clean up and pick up after winter and try to beautify their properties. Always a good thing to do. And then also I want to talk about possibly, we'll do this at the next committee meeting, talk about bringing back the Clean Up Greenhills Day that we used to do. I know there's a lot of students that need service hours. We went through a period with COVID where they didn't want groups of people hanging out together, and I think we can circle back and do other things to clean up the public areas. But that concludes my report.
Okay, all right. Finance and Audit, Jack Lee.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Finance Committee had no meetings in the month of March. We will have some year-end analysis at the retreat in April, just kind of go over last year's figures. At your place tonight, Council, are the financial highlights for the end of February. You'll note that there were comfortable increases in both the income tax fund as well as the real estate tax portion of the general fund to date. This is reflected in an overall year-to-date general fund increase. And as of this point at the end of February, we were slightly ahead of where we were at the end of the year in December. The current fund balance as of the end of February was $1,739,818.78. On the expense side, year-to-date expenses in February, both in dollars and in comparison to the percentage of appropriations, are down. So we're doing what we need to do as far as watching our spending. And there were no transfers from the general fund recorded in February, and none were voted upon in March. Unless you had any questions, that's the end of my report.
Service and Streets, Jennifer Osmanagaloo.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. We had a committee meeting on March 1st, and we discussed a lot of things, as we always do. But I'll just give you a highlight of the main things. We talked about trash, the continual problem of trash. And we were talking about proper disposal. A lot of people don't put their garbage in a can. And so Yvonne was talking about those big, huge 96 gallon rollout carts. You can get those from Rumpke. It's $2.50 a month. It's billed quarterly, and they'll deliver it to you for free. And that would be a great way to, there's plenty of room for all your trash, hopefully. So, you know, contact the village office about that. Or Rumpke, call Rumpke directly. And yeah, so that would be a great alternative. Because those are nice, because you just wheel them out. You don't have to drag the other cart. I was told actually by one of the Rumpke garbage men that you're supposed to have the garbage can that hooks to that. It has that metal bar so they can dump it in there so they're not reaching in the garbage can. They're not really supposed to pick up the garbage can and dump it. So for safety for them too, you know, this is a good alternative to get that rollout cart.
They do offer the gently used cans as well for purchase.
Okay,
So,
that's a good option too. It's a garbage can, so.
yep.
We all need one though. Sidewalk repairs, there's 2 phases left. These are on the calendar for the concrete cutting in 2023. I'll just go over the streets real quick. The first set will be Handle, Junefield, Justicia, Hayden, Hadley, Julep, Jewel, and Junedale. And this second set will be Alcott, Belknap, Bradner, Burnham, Carini, Ligorio, Chalmers Court, and then some additional addresses on Hadley. It's 1.5 inches, right?
Up to 2.
Up to 2 inches, so
Anything
that'll be
over
the
2.
shaving.
Right.
So, and that's,
Replace.
I mean, it's made a big difference throughout the village for sure. Trees, we talked about trees, the ongoing wonder
Trees
of the
and trash.
trees. Yeah, trees and trash is basically everything. It slipped my mind, when is the guy coming from
Well,
the tree company?
We will do that at our work session on April 11th.
Okay,
We'll
so, and he's
devote
from,
that to trees.
okay,
Yeah, Western
Great.
Tree.
perfect. And then, I don't know, does anyone have any questions about anything else? I mean, we went over code violations, they've ramped, the code enforcement officers really ramped up everything, so I think that there's been an increase in the scheduling of inspections and people complying, and there's been a noticeable difference. You know, we went over parking and that kind of thing. So, and street sweeping, that will be this year as well. So we just have to figure it out.
Now, if someone's sidewalk has a bigger than 2 inch, when is that going to happen, or?
He has not given us a schedule, and he just kind of moves around as his schedule permits. But we tried to nail him down a little bit more on that.
I'm really bad at measuring stuff, but I think there's a couple on Handle that are.
Probably. Yep.
It's
Yeah, because he only did about
Oh,
half of his last year. So
Yeah,
there's
it's
another half.
tree roots and by a sewer on the street, so I think it's a combination of the two. It teeters. There's either 2 or 3 sidewalk sections that teeter together. It's fun for me.
I have a question. I'm glad that you mentioned parking, because someone sent an email and they own a property, and I guess it's in one of our areas where there's also a lot of rental properties. And so one of the frustrations is that this person and some of their neighbors have gotten together, and sometimes there's renters that are parking, or they'll have visitors and they're taking up the parking. Do we have anything for that, or is there any regulation about assigned parking spots or?
Not at this point in time, but I am actually putting together a proposal
Okay.
that I've asked the mayor if I could present it at the retreat.
Okay.
That would, on certain streets only, like if you don't have a garage or you don't have a driveway,
Okay.
you'd be eligible for a permit on some of these smaller.
I'll have to forward that.
Especially when there's not
Okay.
driveways. Yeah, because I was contacted by a resident as well about if you don't have a driveway, it's
Yeah.
difficult, you
Yeah.
know?
Right.
And there's a lot of residents that have more than one car. So
For sure.
parking 3 or 4 cars for one, you know, rental unit, that takes up a lot of
Yeah.
space. And I know it's frustrating.
Especially when there's driveways that aren't being used.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
very frustrating for those who don't even have one, so. The goal is to encourage people to use their driveway and have the spaces for people who do not.
You know, so hopefully we can find a good solution.
Yeah.
That won't be too painful for everyone, so, well. All right, that concludes my report.
All right. Intergovernmental Affairs, Laws and Rules, Maria Walther.
We met last month, we have not met this month, and we didn't have anything to discuss at this time.
Okay. Safety, Melanie Hermes.
Just that we have the ordinance coming up, repealing the Greenhills fireworks. That is not to say that people can go willy-nilly. You still have to follow the Ohio Revised Code. It's just ours is in contradiction to theirs. So we had to do something to make it not be in contradiction, so we're repealing it, but that doesn't mean we aren't open to listening to things, and we do want to also encourage people to be responsible, especially with fireworks. Be conscious of your neighbors, follow the timelines. They are listed in Ohio Revised Code. It's not a free-for-all, there are restrictions, and just be kind to your neighbor. The other thing I want to mention for safety is Easter egg hunt for the fire department is coming up, and that will be on Easter Sunday. And it starts at 2, it is over at 2:02, so be there early, or you will not get any eggs. So it is a very fun, very long-standing tradition for the Easter egg hunt to be on the Greenhills Commons, so please come out.
Great.
Fastest competition in sports.
Yes. It is fierce and fast.
The Kentucky Derby has nothing on our kids.
Nothing.
Okay, Recreation, Cable Television, Rachel Hudson.
No updates. Yvonne had mentioned that there was a grant that she was applying for that hopefully will get and can put back into the village events.
All righty. Okay, this is an opportunity for residents and non-residents to make comments solely regarding legislation that's on the current agenda. Non-residents must obtain prior permission. Repeating this is the time for citizens to comment on legislation listed on the agenda for this session of council. When recognized, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, and state your comments. Comments will be limited to 4 minutes. All right. Have none. Unfinished business. Ordinance number 2023-001-S, first reading, repealing section 1519.04 of the Village of Greenhills Codified Ordinances regarding possession, sale, or discharge of fireworks. Ms. Hermes.
I am going to go ahead and read the whole thing, just because it is, even though it's the first reading, I think it's nice for everyone to hear what's in it. So this is the first reading for ordinance number 2023-001-S, repealing section 1519.04 of the Village of Greenhouse Codified Ordinances regarding possession, sale, or discharge of fireworks. Whereas Chapter 1519 of the Greenhouse Codified Ordinance regulates various aspects of fireworks, and whereas in 2022, the Ohio General Assembly adopted comprehensive regulations related to the possession, sale, and discharge of fireworks, and whereas Section 1519.04 of the Greenhouse Codified Ordinance is in conflict with the state law, And whereas it is the desire of the Village Council to make the Greenhills codified ordinances consistent with state law regarding the possession, sale, or discharge of fireworks in the village. Now therefore be it ordained by the Council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, members elected thereto concurring, Section 1, that Section 151904 of the Village of Greenhills codified ordinances is hereby repealed in its entirety. Section 2, that all other provisions of Chapter 1519 of the Village of Greenhills codified ordinances shall remain in full force and effect. Section 3, that this ordinance shall take effect and be enforced from and after the earliest period by law. Again, this is just the first reading, and we'll have the second reading next month.
Okay, thank you. All right, new business, resolution number 2023-R05-SNS, authorizing assessment on certain properties in the Village of Greenhills. Ms. Osmonagle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number 2023-R05-SNS, resolution authorizing assessment on certain properties in the Village of Greenhills. Whereas the village has given proper notice to the owners of certain real property in the Village of Greenhills regarding the removal of vegetation, refuse, garbage, and/or debris from the properties listed below. And whereas the owners of said properties did not take action to remedy the violations, and therefore the Village of Greenhills contracted to remove vegetation, refuse, garbage, and/or debris, and now seeks to collect said expenses by authorizing the placement of a lien upon the lands and collected as other taxes. Now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, Section 1, that the Village Council hereby certifies that the costs of such labor, together with the expenses relative thereto, be filed on the return and statement to the Hamilton County Commissioners as an assessment against the properties listed and placed as a lien against the properties by the Auditor of Hamilton County, Ohio, as follows. Parcel number 597-003-0024-00, address 27 Farragut Road, owner 1111 Properties, cost $671.91. Parcel number 597-0070-0166-00, address 4 Chalmers Court, owner Empar LLC, cost $259.91. The total of both properties is $931.82. Section 2, all amounts collected as a result of this resolution shall be placed into the general fund of the Village of Greenhills. Section 3, this resolution shall be effective immediately upon passage. Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second.
Moved and seconded. Any comments? Clerk, call the roll.
Ms. Hermes?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Ms. Hudson? Aye. Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Ms. Osmonagle?
Aye.
Mr. Holbert?
Okay, resolution number 2023-R05-SNS passes. Next resolution is number 2023-R06-SNS, authorizing the municipal manager to execute an agreement with Mount Pleasant Blacktopping for the Farragut Enfield Transit Infrastructure Project. Ms. Osmonagle.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Resolution number 2023-R06-SNS, authorizing the municipal manager to execute an agreement with Mount Pleasant Blacktopping for the Farragut Enfield Transit Infrastructure Project. Whereas, following a competitive bid process, the lowest and best bid was submitted by Mount Pleasant Blacktopping for the Farragut Enfield Transit Infrastructure Project. And whereas the Village of Greenhills desires to enter into a contract with Mount Pleasant Blacktopping for the Farragut Enfield Transit Infrastructure Project, now therefore be it resolved by the Council of the Village of Greenhills, Ohio, Section 1, that the municipal manager is hereby authorized to execute an agreement with Mount Pleasant Blacktopping. Section 2, that the finance director is authorized to make payments to Mount Pleasant Blacktopping in the amount of $296,695.25 unless said amount is otherwise changed through the proper execution of change orders. Section 3, that this resolution shall take effect and be in full force from and after the earliest period allowed by law. Mr. Mayor, I move for the adoption of this resolution.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded. Any comments or questions? Hearing none, clerk call the roll.
Ms. Hudson?
Aye.
Ms. Huffman-Noble?
Aye.
Ms. Walker?
Aye.
Ms. Hermes?
Aye.
Mr. Halter?
Aye.
Mr. Lee?
Aye.
Okay, resolution number 2023-R06-SNS, authorizing the municipal manager to execute an agreement with Mount Pleasant Blacktopping for the Farragut Enfield Transit Infrastructure Project. All right, do we have any comments from any of the council members that they want to add?
I just wanted to mention cupcakes.
Oh. Okay, all right.
Or is this too early?
No?
The Historical Society, Diana and Doug Kohler, actually had a really push to have, I don't even think push is the right word, instigated is not even the right word, somebody help me with the right word.
Advocated?
Advocated for making a bigger deal of our 85th anniversary, and I think it was a really good idea to do that. I think sometimes we get in a routine up here and it's easy to just do business as usual. But to say thank you to administration, the police, the maintenance department, and all involved, they had cupcakes provided for everybody. And I'm sure I could have done a better job, but sorry.
And they're beautiful. They're green and white.
Yes.
Very nice.
Very
Yeah.
nice.
Thank you.
Thank you, thank you.
Anybody else? All right, moving on, the calendar.
Sunday, April 9th, 2 p.m., Easter egg hunt, put on by the volunteer fire department.
May 11th is the first park talk.
Our retreat is
April 15th.
April 15th.
Guess that's it? Okay. All right, this is an opportunity for residents and non-residents to appear before council. And I don't think we have any non-residents here. This is the time for citizens to comment on matters before council. When recognized, please come forward to the podium, give your name and address, then state your comments or questions. If you have questions, the questions will be recorded and referred to the manager's office for a response. This will allow time for thoughtful and thorough consideration to be given to each question. Council meetings are recorded for ease of transcription. Comments are limited to 4 minutes. Speakers may not yield any or all of their time to other speakers. Take care of whatever needs to be done with it.
Monique Mason-Halter, Greenhills resident. In December, January, and last month, I spoke at council meetings about a lawsuit filed against the Federal Communications Commission, FCC. A U.S. Court of Appeals for the D.C. Circuit ruled in favor of environmental health groups and petitioners that sued the FCC for not updating its 1996 safety limits for human exposure to wireless radiation. I continue to bring this to your attention because the Greenhills Small Cells Facility Ordinance is still not nearly as strong as ordinances passed by other local municipalities. It does not protect us from the irresponsible placement of wireless facilities, both 4G and 5G, and the installation of unneeded infrastructure. A week or so ago, Yvonne contacted me for more information on how to strengthen the ordinance, so I'm glad that this is finally being addressed. There is no reason why our village shouldn't have as strong as ordinance as possible. Last month, I read excerpts from the first case report of documented illnesses associated with 5G antennas being installed on a rooftop. It was posted on the Environmental Health Trust website on January 11th, 2023. There wasn't time for me to read excerpts from an article published on February 23rd, 2023 about the second case report of illnesses from 5G antennas installed on a rooftop. It's on the Children's Health Defense, the Defender website, so I'm going to read excerpts from that now. Noted late in the article, the individuals in the case reports had no history of electromagnetic sensitivity, so they were not, quote, primed to suspect 5G might be causing their illness. Case report, illness after 5G antennas on rooftop. A new case report on 2 previously healthy men who developed microwave syndrome symptoms after a 5G cell tower was installed on the roof of their office. And a similar report published last month showed that non-ionizing 5G radiation can cause health problems in people with no prior history of electromagnetic sensitivity. A new case report shows that 2 previously healthy men rapidly developed typical microwave syndrome symptoms shortly after a 5G cell tower was installed on the roof of their office. According to the report published February 4, in the Annals of Clinical Case Reports, the men experienced headaches, joint pain, tendinitis, abnormal fatigue, sleep disturbances, burning skin, anxiety, and trouble concentrating. The findings matched the results of a similar case report published last month in the Annals of Case Reports that appear earlier in the Swedish journal Medicinx Access, showing a previously healthy man and woman developed similar microwave syndrome symptoms soon after a 5G tower was installed on the roof on the top of their apartment. Both reports show that non-ionizing radiation from 5G, well below levels allowed by authorities, can cause health problems in individuals who had no prior history of electromagnetic sensitivity. The 2 reports appear to be the first studies in the world on the health effects in humans from exposure to 5G, according to the authors. The case report's lead author, Dr. Lennart Hardell, a world-leading scientist on cancer risks from radiation, said the 2 reports are groundbreaking because they serve as the first warning of a health hazard. People shouldn't have to leave their homes because of 5G, said Hardell, an oncologist and epidemiologist with the Environment and Cancer Research Foundation, who has authored more than 100 papers on non-ionizing radiation. Because research on the health effects of exposure to 5G is lacking, Hardell said, we don't know how many people get sick from 5G. Mona Nilsson, managing director of the Swedish Radiation Protection Foundation and co-author of the case reports, said it was a great scandal that 5G has been rolled out for several years now in Sweden and the US without any study at all being performed about the health effects. These 2 studies show that 5G is very dangerous to health, and that the scientists and doctors who have been warning for years of serious consequences for human health due to a predicted massive increase in microwave radiation have been right in their assessments, Nilsson added.
Okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else? All right. Nothing else, meeting adjourned.